Hi folks, welcome to Cooking with Brian. Today we are going to do a sequel, which this is the third video that I have made. One of my videos went extremely viral. The first, how to make macaroni and tomatoes that actually taste good. I did that many years ago. I did do a sequel to that. This is actually the third video I've made, and we have a new recipe that I have which will make it even better and actually taste even more good. But first folks, grab you a cup of coffee, because without coffee we ain't doing nothing today. We ain't doing anything at all. I don't care how big a list your wife makes for you. We ain't doing nothing without coffee, including a cooking show. So here we go, folks.
This is Cooking with Brian, a cooking show with food that actually tastes great.
Cooking with Brian disclaimer: all recipes by Brian are at your own risk. Food taken by mouth may be hot or cold, may cause burning or freezing, may cause pain for sensitive teeth. Food can choke you if eating is done improperly. If you injure or kill yourself or others, or if you choke yourself or others, or if you burn yourself or others, you take 100% full responsibility and release Brian of any and all liabilities. Cooking with Brian is a zero liability cooking show. All bad things are your fault, and all good things are Brian's fault. Thanks for your understanding.
Okay folks, your very first ingredient that we are not putting in today's recipe is coffee. We are drinking Tim Hortons coffee, which they do not sell in Kansas City, the Kansas City Metro, which is where I've lived since the year 2000, in the Kansas City area. We live in an eastern suburb of Kansas City, of all places, folks. But I can still get Tim Hortons coffee, which is even better than Starbucks, if you ask me. I've always supported Starbucks because they have some good coffee, but Tim Hortons, it's a good stuff. And you can get that on Amazon, you can get it on Walmart's website, and it's cheaper than Starbucks and tastes better in my mind. So grab you some Joe and let's go. Oh yeah, there's nothing like coffee, folks. Okay, in your new recipe, we need 1 pound of Barilla elbow macaroni. We're going to use 1 full pound today, folks. And then, and this is a new part of the recipe, you need 2 cans. 2 cans, 28 ounces per can, 2 cans of diced tomatoes. If you live in the Midwest, at your Price Chopper or any place that sells associated grocer brands in the Midwest, especially Kansas City, Price Chopper and Apple Market sells Best Choice diced tomatoes. And I will brag on the Best Choice. It tastes better than name brand stuff. It tastes better than Red Gold. It tastes better than any name brand that even costs more than this. And these are getting quite pricey, folks. They need to lower their prices down. It's like I don't know, more than $2.50 a can for this stuff now. It's getting freaking outrageous. So they need to bring the prices down and make it more affordable for the poor guy. And that's the way it's going right now. We could all be in the poorhouse at any time because they keep jacking the food prices up, folks. But you can use any kind of diced tomatoes that you have. If you can't afford the Associated Grocer brand Best Choice, whatever you can get. Walmart sells diced tomatoes, and it's more than about $1 cheaper, maybe $1.09 cheaper than Best Choice from Walmart. You can use that if you wish, or any other brand of diced tomatoes. Okay, folks, I just want to say that we are trying to be more health conscious these days, and to make our macaroni and tomatoes, we need to fill a large pan. A large pan full of water. Now, here's something. You may be watching the YouTube videos and they say that there may be things coming through our sink that's not good for us. Why would you put poison in our water, folks? It ain't good for you. At the very least, you want to run your tap water through a filter. It's not going to get everything out. It may get some of the things out. It's not going to get everything out. So, word to the wise, folks. If you get it from here and not a spring, it'd be better to get it from a spring and run it through a filter. That way you know it should be good to go. But it's best to pray over your water. We need to pray, say, and we're going to do it right now. Dear Father, we lift up our water we're putting in today's cooking and pray that you would bless and purify our water. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, grab your water. Okay, folks, go ahead and you want to start filling your pan maybe about 2/3 of the way up with water. It's going to take us, I don't know, maybe 3 of these pitchers full, approximately. But once we dump the first one in there, we're going to go ahead and we're going to come over here and we're going to turn our burner, I don't know, down here at approximately the 5 o'clock position. And we're going to let it start to heat up a little bit. You want to go ahead and slap some salt in there. This is not ordinary table salt, folks. I know a lot of your physicians tells you to watch your sodium. And I agree, you should watch sodium as far as the cheap table salts that are out there. Because you don't want to use cheap table salt, folks. You want to use Celtic salt. Starts with a C. Celtic salt is good for you, folks. Your body needs the nutrients. So put some Celtic salt in your water. Okay, folks, we're going to go ahead and fill our pitcher back up with some water. Now, if you have a way to get some well water or spring water, I don't know if it's safe to purchase spring water because you could be lying about that stuff, folks. I don't know. But anyhow, the safest place to get your water is probably at your own well if you have one. That would be a good thing, folks. We're going to let our water run through as we start getting the pitcher ready. Okay, folks, the next thing you want to do is you want to open your diced tomatoes up with your can opener. Okay, then you want to get you a large pan, fairly large, not a huge pan, but just a fairly large pan. Go ahead and dump your tomatoes in there. We did not drain these tomatoes, folks. Make sure you throw your cans in the trash, or your wife may kick your ass. Okay, folks, now that you have your tomatoes in here, go ahead and slap your burner on. Let's make sure we get the right one. This one right here. Alright, we're just going to slap this in about the 5 o'clock position for now. And you go ahead and we're going to spice it up a little bit, folks. This is my secret to making macaroni and tomatoes actually taste good. Your first ingredient is garlic powder. Notice it does not say garlic salt. It says garlic powder. So we want to go ahead and we're going to slap about 4 dashes in there to start with. Then you're going to grab some onion powder. Notice it says powder, not onion salt. It says onion powder. And speaking of that, we might as well go ahead and slap a little bit of Celtic salt in here. Make sure you put some Celtic salt. It ain't going to be a lot because we're going to put some live, fresh salt on it when it's done. I'm having a clogging issue going on with that. Alright, your onion powder, we're going to go ahead and we're going to slap about 8 dashes in there. Then you want some oregano leaves. And there's about, I don't know, 5 dashes or so of that. And same thing with basil leaves. We're going to stick about the same amount in there. Roughly 5 dashes, maybe 6 of each of those. And then your stuff is warming up. We're going to add a little bit of water in here. That way it don't dry all up. We're waiting for our water to finish running and then we'll add a little bit of water. Now we're using a spoon that is not made of plastic. This is made of silicone, which they say is safer than plastic. As far as their cookware, I don't know. They tell you that a lot of these pans you use are not good for you. The best advice I can give you folks is no matter what pan you're using, whether they say it's safe or not, it's a good idea to say a prayer and thank the Lord because, you know, He can purify what you're putting in your mouth, folks. And, but a lot of times we just don't take the time to give the Lord thanks and pray His blessing over the food. And I can tell you right now, I wouldn't trust the things you buy in the store without praying for it because probably a lot of it is not good for you folks. So you may want to pray before you eat every time, folks. If nothing else, it at least shows your gratitude to the Lord for His kindness and goodness, because the Lord is good, folks. Whether you know it or not, the Lord is good. Okay, folks, it's always a good idea not to leave your spoon in there. I just set mine on a small saucer there. Alright, our water's done running, so we're going to go ahead and dump just a little bit in here. It's not really a lot. Probably not even half a cup of water. Maybe more like maybe a third of a cup of water. And then give it a whirl, folks. Now, what we're going to do is we're just going to let this simmer for a while. And we are going to re-spice it. That's the secret of bursting flavor, folks, is the spices you saw me put in here. You're going to repeat that approximately 5 to 10 minutes before we are done. Now your total cooking time on this doesn't really matter. I would say anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour at the most. We're basing it upon how quick our noodles gets done. So whenever we get our noodles done, then that is when this will be done in our mind, folks. But the main thing is simmering it with the spices in there to give it extra good, delicious flavor. Oh yeah. Okay, folks, my burner has like ultra heat functions and all that too, so I'm not sure which side is the ultra heat, that side or this side. I don't know. I haven't figured it all out yet. This is a new stove. It's brand spanking new. We got it when we remodeled our kitchen very recently, folks. We're going to go ahead and dump some more water in here, which we did use some of that in our tomatoes. But we're still trying to fill this other pan up and get it ready to make our pasta. Okay, folks, make sure you still have plenty of coffee, folks. If you need to make some more coffee, you can just pause this video and make you a cup of joe. Oh yeah. There ain't nothing like coffee, folks. I'm telling you, some of my relatives, I remember my Uncle Charles and Aunt Alice, they would get up at like 5:30 in the morning, maybe 6 o'clock at the latest. And they were retired. They'd get up no later than 6 in the morning, and there'd be coffee on from the time they get up until the time it was time to go to bed. And they drank coffee from 6 in the morning until midnight. And they would sit in a lazy boy chair and watch westerns and just chill out and have some coffee. If they got tired, they'd take a nap in the lazy boy chair and watch the westerns and drink good old coffee, folks. Oh yeah, there's nothing like coffee. The only thing different is, back when I did the old videos, I always put cream and sugar in there. Do the research, folks, because cream is not good for you. It has, especially if it has hydrogenated or whatever, hydrogenated cooking oils in it. Not good for your health, folks. We're trying to be health conscious and do things a little better, folks. But right now, we are going to have a talk about pasta. We have a name brand here. You can use any brand of pasta that you want. Whatever you can afford, folks. If you can't afford the name brands, your store generic brand is fine. Elbow macaroni is what you want. Now, I've gotten into arguments with commenters about the correct way to fix your pasta. And some people says this al dente perfection is the way the pasta is supposed to be cooked. And they are right. It is right for them if they like nasty, hard, uncooked, and just as not done pasta. Pasta, in my mind, which is right in my eyes, is beyond al dente to where it's tender and perfect. Not mushy, it is tender and good tasting. And the secrets to being a good cook is taste your stuff, folks. When you're cooking your food, when it gets beyond the al dente or whatever they want to call that, nonsense about hard uncooked pasta. When it gets beyond that, get you a small saucer and just take out a little bit of your noodles, put a little bit of your tomatoes on there and some Celtic salt, and taste it, folks. And just cook it to where you like the texture of the pasta. If you like pasta mushy, then that's fine. Don't bring none to me because I ain't gonna eat it. I don't like mushy pasta. I do not like starchy pasta. Make sure that your water is at a roll boil before you put your pasta in it. Make sure you stir it good for the first at least 1 to 2 minutes after you put this in. Pour it in when it's at a roll boil. Make sure you stir it for at least 1 to 2 minutes. Then you can chill out and just stir it every couple minutes, folks. Make sure that you cook the pasta the way you and your family likes it. I mean, we can argue all you want about this al dente thing. I don't like al dente because you might as well just pour this in the bowl and put your tomatoes on it. If you like hard uncooked pasta, then al dente may be your style, folks. But hey, I want stuff that tastes good, not stuff that's disgusting. So do it however you wish. About at least 2/3 of the way full, and it has filtered water in it. We still get our tomatoes simmering. If it starts bubbling too much on your tomatoes, go ahead and you can reduce the heat a little bit. Just enough to where it's not like it is super boil. You just want it to simmer, folks. You don't need it boiling and foaming up and spilling over the sides. If that happens after it cools down, make sure you clean up your mess so that your spouse does not do anything. Now, it's a good thing when you're stirring this, if you pay attention, you may happen to find a bad piece of tomato, folks. It's disgusting. They need to add some quality control. Why would you have a piece of black tomato in your tomatoes? So if you see those things, unless you like to eat disgusting things, go ahead and remove them from there and discard of it properly without making a mess. So it's a good idea to pay attention. Like this one here, it has a core in it. I mean, I don't generally eat the cores of tomatoes, and I don't know if you've done the research. The cores where the stem comes in are really not good for you, folks. So if you happen to see those in there, we're going to go ahead and pull those out, and we're going to discard of them. Don't want to lose the juice though. So yeah, we're going to stir this up a little bit and just look it over and make sure the quality of our tomatoes meets our expectations. So here's another core, folks. Why don't they just cut them cores out of there before they stick them in our cans? You know, they're just trying to fill weight or something. So if we see the cores, we're going to remove them and toss them, folks. And we're also looking to make sure we don't see any other like black pieces of tomatoes in there. Because obviously they don't look at the tomatoes they're cutting up. They probably get it all computerized and automatic to where it just grabs substance and chops it up. There's another core, if I can find it. I'm sure it's not good for you. So just to be safe, if we see a core, we're going to remove it. There's another one, I believe. Right there. I see some green in there. So we're going to take that and get rid of it. We're trying to fix quality tomatoes, folks. We don't want imperfections in our macaroni and tomatoes that actually taste good. We want to make sure that there's another core. What kind of suckers puts a core in your can of tomatoes? We don't want cores in our tomatoes. There's another one. These guys are worthless. Well, you know, there's another one. We're going to take that one out too. Now I want to say, for your pet safety, do not feed Daddy's macaroni and tomatoes to a dog, because I do not know if you know it or not, but garlic and onions is poisonous to dogs. So do not feed our recipe to animals, because animals are not supposed to. Not only is the garlic and onions bad for dogs, but the part of the tomatoes that's kind of green, which is near the core that they should have took out, is also deadly to dogs, folks, and you probably didn't know it, but now you do. We may not have gotten all the cores out of here, but if we see them, we will remove them, just because I don't really care much for the cores. Because I don't know if you know it or not, the stems of tomatoes contains like cyanide or something in there. I'd rather just skip on anything that's even close to getting to the stems of the tomatoes. That's why we're throwing the cores out, folks. It may not kill you to eat those cores, but hey, why take extra chances? If you happen to see the imperfection, we remove the imperfection. Okay, folks, we've had our water on kind of a low temperature. We're going to go ahead and flop that up there to high, and we're going to speed the process up on getting our water heated up enough to put our pasta in there. While this is still simmering, it's a good time right now to go ahead and re-spice your tomatoes. Remember, we had garlic powder. We're just doing like 4 light dashes of the garlic powder. We're not going overboard on garlic. Some people don't like a lot of garlic, but lightly, it's pretty good. Onion powder, you can be extra generous with that. We flopped like 10 or 12 dashes in there, maybe kind of heavy too, because that's the good stuff. It really makes it taste good. And some basil leaves, about another 5 dashes. Same thing with your oregano. Go ahead and stick you about 5 dashes or so in there. Somewhere between 4 and 6 is fine. And give it a whirl, folks. Now that is the end of the spices you need to make your macaroni and tomatoes taste absolutely delicious. Oh yeah. Just look at that, folks. Oh yeah. Just look at that. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. There's nothing like delicious tomatoes seasoned in an Italian way with your Italian spices. Now, if you prefer and like it a little spicy, folks, you could always throw a can of Rotel in here if you like the spicy twist to your macaroni and tomatoes. But we want the good old classic tomato taste with the Italian seasoning. If you like the spicy stuff, yeah, you can throw a can of Rotel in here, some diced original Rotel, and that would give it a spicy flavor, and it would probably be pretty darn good. But we're going to be classic and traditional to our recipe on this day. Okay, folks, we now have a roll boil. That's what my mom told me. Whenever you cook pasta, make sure you get a roll boil. That's when it's going round and round and all over the place. That's a roll boil, folks. Go ahead and take your pasta, dump it in. Make sure you stir it for at least 1 to 2 minutes after you put it in. 1 to 2 minutes, folks. That way it does not stick. Pasta to pasta sticky stuff. And the reason why you had a roll boil is so you do not end up with starchy noodles. You will know you have starchy noodles because it'll get a disgusting taste that does not go away no matter how little or how long you cook it. So you want to have a good roll boil, folks, and stir for at least 1 minute, and then you can chill out. Once you see that the roll boil continues, you can reduce the heat down to the 5 o'clock position. But if you see the boil stop, turn the heat up a little bit, because you want to keep a good boil on your noodles and cook it to your liking, no matter what your liking is. Maybe you like the al dente, raw, hard pasta taste. I don't. I like mine tender and perfect, not mushy, not hard. And also, make sure you continue to stir your tomatoes occasionally, folks. Okay, folks, it's been several minutes. We got our roll boil back. You can reduce it down to as far as the 5 o'clock position, but make sure you keep it at a boil still. The better it boils, the quicker it'll cook and the better it'll taste. So you don't want to reduce the heat unless you have to. And if it starts getting to where it looks like it's going to boil over, reduce the heat slightly. We'll go ahead and do that. We'll turn it down a little bit, but right now we're about, I don't know, not much below the 3 o'clock position, and hopefully it'll be okay there. But if we have to, we'll put it in the 4 or 5 o'clock position, but hopefully not. We did reduce the heat on our tomatoes down a good bit because it's starting to dry up a lot of the water that was in there. And it's been cooking for probably, I don't know, maybe 45 minutes now. You'll notice that the longer you let your tomatoes simmer, the more darker red that it gets. And that's when it starts to really taste good, when it starts to get a darker red. Just looky there. Oh yeah, just looky folks. Oh yeah, look at them delicious tomatoes. Oh yeah, absolutely delicious. Oh yeah. Okay folks, you notice that your pasta is still boiling extremely well, maybe a little bit too well. You want to stir it occasionally, and we're going to reduce the heat just a little bit more. We're about the 330 position, maybe close to the 4 o'clock position. We're going to see if it'll be okay sitting about right there. Alright, it's very important as a chef, after your stuff cooks beyond al dente, that you stick a little on the saucer. Grab you a little bit of the sauce from your tomatoes, stick it on there. Take you some Celtic salt, sprinkle it on there. Get you a fork and taste it, folks. Alright, we now want to taste this to see if the noodles are done to our likings. It's getting there, but it still tastes al dente, which to me is raw noodles. We don't want raw noodles. We want tender, fluffy noodles. It's only a couple minutes from being done, folks. Okay, folks, once your noodles taste to your likings, go ahead and turn your burners off completely. Drain your noodles. You want to carefully pour your noodles to where the steam does not hit you in the hands. If the steam hits your body, it will burn you, so be careful and do it at your own risk. Remember, it's your fault if you get hurt, not mine. Okay folks, take your drained noodles and dump them back in the pan. Notice I made a mess. Make sure you clean your mess up, folks. You want to take your tomatoes, go ahead and slap it in here with your noodles. Then give it a whirl, folks. Give it a whirl. Make sure you don't burn yourself or do anything stupid. Don't feed your dogs because the stuff is poison to a dog. If you have extra, you can always preserve it in containers in the fridge, and it should be good for at least several days. Now I've found it's best to let this sit for at least 5 or 10 minutes. That way it soaks in the good tomato flavors. It'll taste so much better. Okay folks, we ditched all the vegetable oil type butters. We now recommend using this good imported Irish butter, Kerrygold. Oh yes, it's some good butter, folks. Put some of that and some good Celtic salt on your noodles. Oh yeah, you got some good stuff there. We're not afraid to use a whole bunch of this good Irish butter on our noodles. Gives it a great flavor. Oh yeah, look at that, folks. Oh yeah, that's some good stuff there, folks. Oh yeah, delicious macaroni and tomatoes. If you want, you can sprinkle some Parmesan or something on there. That's just fine. Good stuff, folks. Okay, folks, and that's how you fix Daddy's delicious macaroni and tomatoes that actually tastes great. Oh yeah, good stuff. Make sure you had your coffee. Oh yeah. We'll see you next time. Hope that was a blessing for you. Bye, y'all.